We are going to be looking at the biology assessment examples. And I'm going to start from the beginning. But I'll get past it. All right. Because you already know. All right. So let's go ahead and have somebody want to volunteer? Okay. Sit in the hot seat.
I will go second.
No, sir.
I go second.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be difficult to see the answers on the screen that I'm projecting on, as well as, oh, let's do this. But you have the packet in front of you. Now, remember, I gave you this so you can see what the overall essential standard was that we were looking at. These are the objectives. This means that if you are able to do this, then you should be able to answer this question, which means that you're good with that standard or that portion of the standard. All right, let me zoom in for you all to see. All right, Applehead, you're doing this one. You got your paper. Bring your paper up with you. Sit in the hot seat. Sit in the comfortable seat. That needs to get comfortable. Sit in it. All right, read the question out loud.
A runner is completed in a 10
kilometer
track meet, and just before completing the race, the runner is nearly out of breath and energy needed to finish the race. Which cell structure is most affected by the reaction?
Okay, now stop. Before we answer the question, let's analyze this sentence and this question. In the first sentence, which talks about the runner, what is the important word in that sentence? No. What is the specific, the thing that we're talking about? What's the subject in that sentence? In the sentence, not the question. No, that's not even the topic. What is the most important thing in that sentence? Energy. Underline it. Get up there and underline it. Use the orange so we can see it. Energy is the most important thing there. So now the question says, which cell structure is most affected by this lack of energy? Notice energy is important because it's asking for energy in the question. With that being said, before we answer the question, what is a cell structure? You know what structure means. So what's a cell structure? Things that what? Make up the cell. Give me some examples. No, that's not a cell. What? Mitochondria. What else? Ribosomes. What else? Cell wall. What else? Cell membrane. So not only are they called cell structures, they're also called what? Starts with an O. Organelles. So the question is asking, which organelle is most affected by the lack of energy? This is asking you, do you know the functions of the organelles? So which organelle is responsible for energy? Write it down. Correct. Good job. All right. Come on, Shania. You want to do number 2? Oh, my bad, DNA. Let's go. Read. Sit in the comfortable seat. Read the question.
What can be used to distinguish between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells? My answer was eukaryotic contains membrane-bound organelles.
Okay, eukaryotic. What do you mean by membrane-bound organelles?
What we just named.
Okay, good.
Membrane.
Nope, cell membrane's not really an organelle, and the prokaryotic cell has that.
A cell wall.
Cell wall is not an organelle, and the prokaryotic cell has that. Both of them have ribosomes. One of them don't have a nucleus. Very good. Which one does not? Prokaryotic does not have a nucleus. Eukaryotic has a nucleus. Prokaryotic do not. What are some other things that eukaryotes have that prokaryotes do not? Chloroplast, yep. Name some other organelles. Rough what? Endoplasmic reticulum.
Oh, that B word. No, it's the G word.
Golgi body. All right. With that being said, what are the two types of eukaryotic cells? Animal and plant. What's a prokaryotic cell? Bacteria. Very good. All right, DNA, erase that up there for me, and we're going to have this here, and Messiah looks very nervous, which is my fuel. Come on, take the seat, because that's the purpose. If you feel uncomfortable with it, then I need to make you comfortable with it. So that when it pops up on the test, you are no longer getting jittery and nervous. You are confident that you will get it correct. Because this will be the time, just like a butterfly, caterpillar struggles to get through to make that butterfly. This is your struggle. So that when it pops up, you're like, oh, I can flutter like a butterfly and sting like a bee, like Muhammad Ali, because I'm so pretty. Oh, bars. Go. Read it. Now I want you to read it out loud, low and loud. Nope, this part is a different question. This part is just what we're looking at here. So, what is this question asking? Break it down, because there's a lot of words here, and then that's what confuses you and you all get scared because you have to read a lot, and you're like, wait, what? Make it personal to you. The major point here is, why do you have different cells? Before we answer that question, what are your cells that are different? Name them. Nerve cell, muscle cell, white blood cells, red blood cells, okay. Stomach cells, that's 5. We can stop there. We don't need to go on and on. What process did these cells go through to duplicate themselves? What process did they go through to duplicate themselves? No, not meiosis. Mitosis. Mitosis is the copying of cells. Do they get copied identically? Yes, they do. However, throughout some process or something happens to where you end up with these 5 different types of cells. White blood cells, red blood cells, stomach cells, nerve cells, muscle cells. In the initial process when they're copying, they do get the same information. But then there's something that happens to make them specialized. One word, what is it called? Starts with the D. And that's what asks how many of the cells in an individual can be very different. Say it loud. Differentiation. Specialized cells are formed through differentiation. Right there. Alrighty, Shania. Good job. See? That wasn't so hard, was it? Are you still alive? Did you die?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Shania, lea la pregunta. Read the question.
Nerve cells and bone cells are specialized cells that use the same
Nope, right.
Write a statement that best explains how each type of cell result in a different structure with a specialized function.
Well, let's piggyback off of the previous question. Again, do they all go through the same process? Do they all end up being identical at one point? All right, what makes a nerve cell become a nerve cell and a bone cell become a bone cell if they both go through mitosis? What is in the center of each cell? A nucleus. What does the nucleus contain? DNA. DNA also contains what makes us look like we are, our genes. So therefore, why is a nerve cell different from a bone cell? Okay, but they all contain genes. But notice that you have cells that make up your eye, cells that make up your nose. Those are your genes. So what if a gene is activated in your eye cell that's supposed to be for your nose cell? Uh-huh. So what is that saying about the genes and DNA for each type of cell? And this happened in goal 2. We talked about this on Friday. It's not a mutation because we're not asking about a mutation here. We're asking why a nerve cell is a nerve cell and why a bone cell is a bone cell. It all depends on what happens. What number? 11:15. Oh, you're telling me the time. Oh, my bad. I was confused. Yes, it's whatever gene is activated. That's what, no, you don't have to write. That's what determines the specialized cell, the activation of genes. Alrighty. Rihanna. Read it. All right, before we actually answer this question, it just says diagram, but there is something on this picture that can actually tell us what this diagram is a picture of. What is this diagram a picture of? Nope. I know, but what is this diagram a picture of, though? But the membrane is located on a what? Say it louder, guys. A cell. So this is a picture of a cell. Right now, it's just identifying the membrane. What is the job of the cell membrane? Where is the cell membrane located? It regulates what goes in and out of the cell, correct? So now up there, it doesn't matter which one. You need to label one side in and one side out. There's no right or wrong answer, but just go up there and label it. So he says side B is out of the cell, side A is the inside of the cell. That's perfectly fine. It could have been vice versa. Now these are the molecules are in and the molecules are out. Now it's looking at your understanding of stuff in and out of the cell. If the cell has too many things in, Vernon, what's going to happen over time? It's going to push them out. If the cell has too many of those things on the outside and not enough inside, what's going to happen? If the cell has too many things on the outside and not enough things on the inside, what's going to happen? It's going to allow them to come in. So over time, what does this cell want to look like? Over time, though, what is it going to stop and then just look like? Both sides are going to be equal because that's what it's going to eventually want. It doesn't want to keep putting things out and in. It's trying to maintain what? Which is called what? Homeostasis. So over time, it is going to look, each side's going to look like what? Equal. Erase that for me. Good job. Cam? No, don't you dare get up there with the defeated mindset. Sit in the seat. Read the question.
Question says, the student observed a typical unusual research where many of the cells have successfully completed mitosis. Write a statement that best explains what happens to adult cells that only have as many chromosomes as all the other cells in the same section of the tip.
I'm going to give you some answer choices here. I want you to pick one. Choice 1. The plant cell completed mitosis after undergoing cytokinesis. Does that make sense? Okay. Choice 2. The plant cell completed mitosis before undergoing cytokinesis. Okay. The plant cell completed mitosis before undergoing interphase. That is the correct answer. Because interphase happens is the start of before mitosis. Once mitosis is complete, then it goes back to the interphase stage. Kim, you're not off the hook because you didn't answer that. Denasia did. So stay up there. This is your question. Read it. Sit in the seat, read it out loud, and be prepared to give us an answer. This one, Kyle, I want you to pay attention because I noticed an error and I need to fix it. I'll make a note of that and remind as well.
Cell cycle checkpoints proteins that and regulate the process of the cell cycle.
Stop right there. What is that telling us? You can give me a real life example or give me some type of an example. What do we do in school? What could be a school example of this?
Oh, if you do something good, you get something, you do something bad, you get caught.
No. The key word here is progress.
Reports.
You do get a report, but in order for me to determine your progress, I give you a what? I have to test you to see if you know it. If you don't know it, or if everyone's not doing very well at it in some cases, then I have to be able to say, okay, what's missing? What's the problem? Like right now, I'm like, what's the problem? What's missing? In everyday life, you're driving. Sometimes there's checkpoints. They have to check to make sure everybody on the road is legal. Where's your license? Where's your registration? Okay, everything's good to par. You can go. So what this is saying, the cell cycle has checkpoints. These proteins are their checkpoints. They check to monitor, is the cell equipped with everything it needs to go through the process of the cell cycle? Is the DNA intact? Are all the organelles intact? Okay, good. Check. Great. You can move on. All right? Continue with the write a statement. So what is this asking? Not if they didn't go through interphase, if they didn't go through what? Without the preparation. Here's what we need to fix. So it's asking, if we didn't go through these checkpoints, if we didn't check before we allowed it to go to interphase, what could happen? If we didn't check to make sure everything was okay. If there's no checkpoints, on the streets. If cops never stop people to make sure that their registration is up to par, because that's making sure your car is safe to be on the road. If they didn't check to make sure that you have a valid license, which is checking to see that you have passed the test to be a safe driver, what could happen? Wrecks and accidents. Okay, good. So if we didn't check to make sure DNA was intact, what could happen? Mutation. The number of chromosomes for the daughter cell, the created cell, could be different for the number of chromosomes in the parent cell. Good job, Kim. Could be a mutation, a different number of chromosomes. That was you it? Oh yeah, it's on you again. DNA? Yeah, did. Okay, we could be back around. Alrighty. Read it out loud. The main question it's asking you is, why is it doing this? Do you need to know what contractile is? No, because it's telling you it's pumping excess water out. Contractile just means opens and closed. But don't let that word trip you up, because it's telling you it's pumping excess. Now, you do need to know what that means. Not necessarily, it just says it's pumping it out. But excess means what? Extra. So why is it doing it? But why? So why is it doing it? To maintain what? Homeostasis. It's doing it for balance. Remember, everything that happens with us and with ourselves is for balance. We need to make sure everything is stable. All right. This next question had a lot to it, but I'm going to sum it up in two questions, which is going to answer all of it. And I'm going to do that by telling Denasia to come up. I know you're about to answer another one. Let's go. Come on. Denasia, with this diagram, what processes are being demonstrated? What? Well, look at it. What do you see there? You see water, you see plants, a snail, and you see light. The fact that you see light in plants, what process? Photosynthesis is one process. You see light, you see plants, you see air. That air during photosynthesis is a representation of what? Oxygen. Very good. Now, what else do you see in this picture? A snail. The fact that you have an organism there other than a plant, what other process? What's the opposite of photosynthesis? Okay, what if it wasn't a snail? What if it was a person? What's the opposite? What do you do that gives something for photosynthesis? You contribute, or let me say this, photosynthesis happens, it produces oxygen. Who takes it in? You do. What is that process called when you're taking in oxygen to create carbon dioxide? What do you have to do every day? Breathe. What's another word for breathe? Respiration. So what other process is here? Stop clicking that pen, please. And how do you know that cellular respiration is occurring? How do you know? How do you know it's doing that? It's not what? How do you know? Is the snail dead? No. Do you see water droplets? Is water a product of cellular respiration? There you go. This is asking you if you understand the process of photosynthesis And do you understand the process of cellular respiration? The water cycle is also something that is demonstrated here. The nitrogen cycle is something that is also demonstrated here. Got it? Get it? Good. Moving on. Messiah. Now let's break this down really quickly. The two characteristics we're looking at is appearance and reproductive parts. The one thing that I'm going to look at immediately is appearance because that's easily easily seen. I don't know why I try to add extra words. You have two different processes. You have an insect pollinated plants and a wind or water pollinated plants. How are insect pollinated plants pollinated? It's an obvious question. Okay. Insects. So you have buzzer, 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 and it goes to another plant, right? The purpose of this insect is to go from plant to plant because it has a process that it has to go through as well. It has to get stuff back to the honeycomb. So it's only going to go to plants. Is it just going to touch just these little pink plants in this little pink field? No. It's going to go to other plants as well. So it's a possibility that it's going to impregnate or pollinate different plants with different types of pollen. Got it? The wind is going to blow in a specific area. That wind's going to move pollen within that same area. Therefore, it's going to create plants that look all the same. That's that plainness. Got it so far? When the bee touches this pink plant and goes over and touches a yellow plant, that yellow plant has to do what? Its appearance is going to change because it has to do what? Think about it this way. When we had a little experiment here, and you had to either change your color, or you had to change from having wings to maybe having feet. Adapt. This is all about adaptation. The difference in the characteristics of flower species most result because of the adaptation in responding to the environment. Stay there. Adaptation to the response for different environment. All right, go ahead and read the response. Nope, because I answered that for her. Well, Deanasia helped answer it.
There are species with things like drought or high frogs in the big or whole semi-cellular organisms. So sometimes their age is rapid around themselves, somewhat protective, and they can causes this adaptation on the side.
Question is asking you, why are the frogs adapting? Why do the frogs do this? Huh? So why are they doing it? No, not to maintain homeostasis. Nope. Say it louder. What'd you say? Say it louder. Survival, Messiah. It's an adaptation for survival. All right, Shania. Okay, read us the question. You have to pay specific attention to the information that's given to you in this chart or this diagram.
Flowers study activity in molecular items suggest that the photosynthesis and break structure
And beak, not break, beak.
beak structure will most directly lead to
Look at your chart or picture. Does it? Okay, so give me your answer. It's an adaptation for the environment. The specific environment's right here in the middle. This is mainly plant food. This is 100% animal food. This is mainly animal food. So the beaks are going to adapt to the type of environment that they're in. They eat food, so they have to have the type of beak for the food that's available. Good job. Rihanna? We should be able to get through this whole packet. We're going to move faster. Hmm? There's some tissue right here. Rihanna, go ahead and read us the question. How is this? Okay, good. Yeah, I'm sorry. How is this adaptation an advantage to the visceral butterfly? Why? Is it? No, it did not. No, it did not. No, it's not. It says the monarch butterfly is distasteful to birds. So is the bird going to eat either butterfly? No. It's not going to eat the monarch because it tastes disgusting. It's not going to eat the visceral because it thinks the visceral is the monarch. This is all from that example that we did in class for survival. Why is the caterpillar nasty? For survival. My little jelly bean container, what was left over? The black ones. Why? Because you all thought it was nasty. Therefore, it survived. All right. Shut up, Kyle. Huh? Okay, I need you to go sit in the warm seat. And don't answer it yet. Wait till everyone else answer 2.1.3 before Cam does, so that we can make sure you know it. Cam, read the question out loud, though. Cam, read the question out loud, though, but do not answer it yet. Write your answer down, everybody. Cam, what's the answer? What type of relationship is that? What's the name of the mutualism? What's all of those relationships? What does that go under again? Speak up. Symbiosis. Very good. All right, Deanasia. It's okay. Jonte will go soon. All right, Deanasia. Read it. Yes, I'm glad you said that because you all take the test and you skip over the portion that's at the top of the question. You go just to the question, and that is why you will get some of them wrong because you don't know what the information is telling you because you didn't read that. Any words that are on the exam, read them. Okay, so before we do anything, let's do the first part. Identify the major regions on the graph that represent population changes. Get the marker and outline the graph that shows major changes. Orange. That is not a major change because that is staying the same. Just right there. She just identified just this, just right there. What about, didn't this change? Just right there. What about this? Didn't this change? Till it got here? It's not. You need to be specific. Is that it? Really? There was no major change here. That looks like a big drop to me. Not all of this, because this all stays the same. Stop being smart, Alec. This is not a major change. These are very subtle changes. Till he gets it right about here. All right. Now that we've identified that, back up. Now you want to discuss why the deer population did this. What type of change is this? A subtle, a gradual, or an exponential? This is an exponential change. So explain why this may have happened. Why do you think the deer population may have grew? This all goes back to us being in that box. Think about in everyday life, Dianasia. Why would a community start to get more people? Exactly. Good. So what took you so long to answer this, babe? Okay. Then why do you think that it would drop right here? Too many resources, or what else? I'm sorry, not too many resources. Overpopulated. What is another reason? It could be extreme weather changes. What else could have happened? Huh? Loss of resources, competition. Would you want to move into an area where there's a lot of crime? Survival could be a reason why they needed to move as well. The type of question for this could be a multiple choice question, but it also could be drag and drop reasons for this reasons for this increase or this change. All right, go ahead and erase that for me. Does anybody know if Ayana's coming back in August? You don't know if she's coming back? Huh? Yeah, but she got to come back to take her exam, don't she? Or is she not coming to take the exam? Okay, I don't know. But never mind. I'm sorry. Off track. Let's go back on here. Oh crap. Jeez. We need Applehead. Read it to us.
What benefit does what is besides that, like,
You're going to discuss what has contributed most to overall warming of the atmosphere.
oh,
This is 7th and 8th grade review. And 9th grade. No. What contributes to global warming? Say it louder. Fossil fuel. Very good. Moving on. Stay there, Applehead. What benefit does recycling provide for the biosphere? So we are trying to maintain what? In the atmosphere. Started with an S. Sustainability. We're trying to be sustainable. All right. Come on, Shania. Give me 1 second. All right, we are at the top one. All right, Shania. Write it down and say it loud while you're writing it. Say the letters. Make sure it's a capital T. And why is it not a U? It's not a what? It's not mRNA. It said a nucleotide, and nucleotides are part of DNA. Good. Erase that. Come on, Messiah. I'm not calling you up to do the ones that you just know. I'm not. Messiah, quickly. First of all, read the top portion. Be stopped for one moment. This is the type of question that has information in the question to help somewhere else. Another question may ask, how many bases create an amino acid? What are you going to say? How many bases makes an amino acid? 3. And you see that here. It says this represents amino acid codes. There's 3. There's an amino acid. There's 3. There's amino acid. This gives you an answer. Tell us, Messiah. Just tell us how you got the answer. Wait, stop right there for 1 second. She said the first thing she had to do was transfer to mRNA, so CAG complemented what? GUC? Okay. Where's that? Okay. Good. So the first thing she had to do was code it into mRNA because these are the mRNA codes. And then once she did that, you can erase that. She got valine, isoleucine, and alanine. Good. All right, let's have the next person. Applehead. Basically, writing a statement explaining your understanding of this standard. The standard talks about mutation. Tell me what a mutation is. What's a mutation? You got to be able to explain it. It's a change in what? Not just where are the genetics located? Change in the DNA sequence. So a change in the DNA sequence. So instead of having ACT, you can have an AGT. That would be substitution. You want to write those down. You need to be writing this, Applehead. Instead of having an ACT, you can have an AT, and then the C is eliminated. That's deletion. You could have an ACCT. That would be insertion. Got it? Alrighty. Who's up next? Come on, Cam. Changing the DNA sequence. Read the question, Cam.
Why is the process of meiosis, meiosis important in sexual reproduction?
Cam, what's meiosis?
Isn't it like hockey?
What is it making?
Awesome.
God. this every single day because we've said this word today probably 10 times. What does it make? Sex cells, not sex organs. It comes from sex organs, but it makes sex cells. What are those sex cells? Sperm and egg. So that's one reason why it's important for sexual reproduction because it makes sex cells. But now we need to talk about that variation. What does that have to do with anything? What does variation mean? Do you look like your brother, exactly like your brother? No. Do you look exactly like your mother or your father? Exactly. Are you identical to them? No. Why? You just have their features. Why? Because you still got some chromosomes from your father, some from your mother. The reason why your brother doesn't look like exactly like you is because he also got some, but everything was a crossover. There was some gene variation. So he got some stuff. You guys have some similarities, but you don't look exactly alike because the sperm that produced him and the egg that produced him had some differences. And the same thing for you. They weren't identical sperm and they weren't identical eggs. Does that make sense? Question?
Yeah, so can twins
Twins are identical. If they're identical twins. There's not gene variation with them. That's the only other example. Why do twins change over time? Not change in look, but some changes in their behavior, attitude, things of that nature. Their environment.
Oh, man.
They have different experiences. Alrighty. That would be this one here. Why do identical twins become less alike as they grow older? Their environment. But now we're going to look here. I'm going to flip the camera for a second because I want to give you an example. I'm going to give you some choices and sometimes. As soon as this pops up, come on. I'm trying to bring the camera on here so you can see me, so I can give you some choices for some reason. Maybe. I'm trying to click anything to turn my camera on right now. And it's not turning it on all of a sudden. Alright, while we're waiting to do 3.2.1, I don't know why it's acting funny. I was just on FaceTime yesterday. Alright, anyway, while we're waiting to do 3.2.1, I want to really bring this up. Alright, let's look at, we'll go back to 3.2.1 in just a second. Let's look at this one here for the Himalayan rabbit. Rihanna. Go ahead, read it. Why did it give us any information about their temperature and everything outside? Huh? So then answer the question, why do these Himalayan rabbits exhibit different colors? Because of their environment. The environment determines whether the gene for fur pigmentation is expressed. Think about it this way. Yes, my skin tone is lighter, but if I lived in an environment with a lot of sun, I'm going to have a little bit of a darker skin tone. Not going to be overly dark, but it's going to be darker than if I live in an environment where there's no sun, then my tone will be lighter. Just think about winter and summer months. You get tan. So if it's cold all the time and there's no sun, you're not going to be tan. All right, quickly, let's go on to this one here. Oh, really, really, really? All right. The diagram shows DNA fingerprints from a daughter horse and the mother horse. The four possible fathers. Which horse is most likely to be the father? Are you the father? You are not the father. All right. Looking here, this is the daughter horse here. Trying to see who the daddy is. Remember, these are the fingerprints. This is what's used for crime scene. This is what's used for determining relation, because DNA is a biochemical thing that's used. Which one of these horses, this is the mother, which one of these horses looks similar to be the actual father? Cam,
I say 4.
you say 4?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there's another little, you look at this little black marker.
4 has nothing that matches. Nothing lines up. That look how small these are. This is way down here. This is way up here. Nope. Messiah. 3. Why? Okay. 3 is more similar. We got this, and we got the smaller mark. It's not going to be 100% identical. This one doesn't have enough markings of the same. 1 doesn't have enough markings of the same. So yes, the best match is 3. All right. Looking at 3.3.2. How is the process of gene therapy used to treat cystic fibrosis? Remember, gene therapy is actually now looking at the genes and doing something with them. In this case, we want to replace the abnormal gene with a copy of a normal gene. We can now do replacing genes. So we want to replace the abnormal gene with a copy of a normal gene.
What's cystic fibrosis?
It's a disease also that's a genetic disease. It messes with your nerves and your muscles and all that stuff. Nerves, I'm not sure muscles, but very painful. Should there be laws to regulate stem cell research? Again, this is just a constructed answer. There's no right or wrong answer. This is this whole thing, people not wanting biotechnology to exist. Some people say that it's good. You would just have to pick out the best justified answer. It can't just be, yeah, they should do it because we can. If there's an answer within the choices, you should be able to pick out the best one. All right, species A and B share similarities in DNA sequences. What would this suggest about their evolutionary relationship? They share a common ancestor. Very good. Good job, Deonasia. You're going to make me proud, girl. All right. Moving here to this wonderful, beautiful picture. We stored it. We skipped the page. Let me go to the correct page, which is, I think my pages are, did I skip a whole page? Wait, where's it at? Right here? 3.42. I don't have it. I have it right. I have it right here though. Let me give me 1 second. Let me pull it up right here. After 3.4.2 is okay. I'm gonna put the right one up here for when we do get there. And for those of you that are watching the video, I apologize. Give me 1 second, and I will put it up in the right spot.
the birds and bees speech come from?
It's not a relationship between the birds and the bees. It's a relationship of what happens with the birds and what happens with the bees. So it's just two different. They just say birds and bees. I don't know where exactly it came from, but. No, I sure can't. We already talked about that. Yes, we did. All right, I'm not going to waste time pulling this up. I'm just going to read it. On the paper, it says, during the Industrial Revolution, there were two variations of English peppered moths, those with light color and those with dark color. The soot from the factories covered the trees. Data was collected to measure the percentage of each type of moth in the area. It was noted that the percentage of dark-colored moths increased over time, while the percentage of light-colored moths decreased. What is the likely explanation of the change? Shania? Survival. The presence of the dark color moths variation increased likelihood for survival because it's going to be able to blend in with the tree. Remember, you want to blend in with your environment. The white color moths are going to be able to be seen, so most likely it was a variation for survival. Constructive response. Why are incidents of sickle cell anemia more common in areas known for high occurrence of malaria? Malaria is a disease that happens in populations or areas like Africa where you have African Americans. And sickle cell anemia is a disease that is more common in descendants of African Americans. All right, 3.4.3, a researcher sprays a new pesticide of thousands of insects of the same species that live in a large field. A few of the insects survive. What can be concluded? What can be concluded if you spray pesticides in an area and some of them survive? They became resistant. Good. 3.5.1, how do organisms like Euglena, which are heterotrophic and autotrophic, change the classification system? Well, heterotrophic means what? It eats other organisms, so it's a consumer. One is autotrophic, so it crosses through the plant and the animal type-like kingdom, because autotrophic is plant, heterotrophic is animal. So the fact that a species can have characteristics of both. Some are autotrophic, some are heterotrophic. That's that. All right, now looking at the one that's on the screen. What type of chart is this that we're looking at? Nope. There you go. Say it again. Dichotomous. This is a dichotomous key. So what you have to do with this is basically, it's asking about drawing 3, which is this one here. It's 50 centimeters. What is the key? I believe the question said, using the key provided, drawing 3 can be identified as which bird? Well, you would have to look. Is the bird larger than 40 centimeters? Yes. Okay. So then we go to what number? 2. You have to know how to follow through this chart. That's what this is for. The dichotomous key, you have to know how to read it. So we go to 2. It doesn't say 2A or 2B. We just go to 2 and we looked. Does it have a hooked beak?
Yes.
Okay. Does it have feather over eyes?
No.
Okay. No feathers that look like ears. No, this is not correct. He does have feather over eyes that look like ears. That's this right here. These are feathers over right here. They look like ears. They come like this. No, over on top of his eyes. Sorry. That look like ears. They're on top of the head. So he is a bubo. However you say that, I'm not even going to pretend like I know how. But the whole purpose of that is to know how to read that key. And then, last question. Constructs a response based upon the dichotomous key above. Which two organisms are more closely related? You would just have to look at their the structures, basically. Oh, is there more? Okay, yep. For some reason, I didn't copy those ones. All right, give me 1 second because I want to go back to 3 dot. What was it? I want to go back to 3.2.1 and talk about the blood typing. 3.2.1. Yes. Okay. Oh, I can't get it up there.